They say everyone should own a Speedmaster. Like most of us watch fans, I saw the initial release of the white dial Speedmaster Pro when former Commander Bond, Daniel Craig, showed up at a Planet Omega event wearing a brand new Speedmaster Professional. Around the time of this new Omega release, and when it became available, it had been about 2.5 years since I had purchased what was my Grail watch, the Hamilton Intramatic Chrono 68. Jump to May of 2024, I visited an authorized Omega dealer to try on the larger 44mm Moonphase Speedmaster. I had spotted the white dial Speedmaster Pro coming through the entryway to the store. And on the traditional Speedmaster Pros, I really loved the redesigned tapered bracelet, the exhibition caseback that displays the caliber 3861 movement, and of course the new white dial. Personally, this felt like a real multi-tool type of watch. Dress it up in any color clothing choice, dress it down with the bracelet, it's a go anywhere kind of timepiece. I could see this watch with so many variations of straps, which is always top of mind for me and for this channel. As someone who enjoys details, heritage, and the utility, this new white Speedmaster deeply appealed to me because it was only a minor break from the traditional black dial option. After seeing the Speedmaster Professional, I did eventually try on the 44mm Moonphase variants, which actually felt like a clear choice for me. With a 7-inch wrist, the 44.25mm options wear really great and they look fantastic. The key observation when trying on those watches was the thickness of the piece. At 16.9mm, these watch variants felt extra tall on the wrist. That said, I love the Moonphase variants. Also, before I left the shop, I made it a point to try on some other watches from Zenith and from JLC, just for contrast. A few months after this, I was traveling for work and stopped by an authorized dealer with a larger variety of timepieces. And I tried on the classic black Speedmaster Pro again, some Speedmaster 57s, the Seamaster 300 diver variants, Planet Ocean, and Aqua Terra models. I left empty-handed that day, but I really loved how the Speedmaster models felt again on the wrist. I left the shop with that white Speedmaster really on my mind. More recently, I visited a Breitling boutique just to see how some of their timepieces might look and feel. I really liked the look and the feel of the Breitlings, but the Speedmaster remained the top runner for me. A few days later, I visited another authorized dealer in my city and had the opportunity to try on a handful of additional Omega options that I had not seen before. This included the Seamaster Diver 300 models, the non-diver Seamaster 300s, the Gray Side of the Moon, the Speedmaster 57s, and the Speedmaster Moonphase in blue ceramic, in addition to the big blue Moonphase Speedmaster. At this point, the more watches that I tried on, the more I was being pulled towards the Speedmaster Pro or that bigger Moonphase option. I was entering into analysis paralysis territory. Not only that, but my local Omega boutique was still under construction with no grand opening in sight. If I was going to make a purchase, I had really hoped to buy and build a relationship with my local Omega boutique, which didn't exist. To keep myself from spiraling, I sent inquiries about the white dial Speedmaster through the Omega website to the 3 closest boutiques, and surprisingly, 3 responses were waiting for me the next day. The closest boutique to me made the most sense to work with, as it's a somewhat reasonable driving distance for servicing or for store visits. The boutique made it easy for me to say yes. In early October, I took delivery of the white dial Speedmaster Moonwatch Professional. The boutique manager was very generous in helping to resolve some small issues with delivery, and I was fortunate to end up with 2 boxes, an additional NATO strap, and some extra Omega gifts. This being my first Omega, the unboxing experience was a bit of fun. I ended up receiving both the wooden lacquered box along with the woven nylon black Speedmaster packaging. Both of these boxes have since found a space inside of the studio here where I film all the content for the Watch Strap Guy channel. Alongside the boxes, I was lucky enough to get a few additional Omega gifts, including an Omega baseball hat, ballpoint pen, and a really lovely wax sealed thank you card. After unboxing, I began a very delicate process of resizing the bracelet. I moved slowly and carefully through the process of removing the links until eventually landing on the appropriate size for my 7-inch wrist. With the tools on hand, I chose to do the resizing process simply because I could. I figured this would be a really great way to spend some quality time getting familiar with this Omega timepiece. And oh boy, was I right. I think I spent close to 45 minutes resizing the bracelet, so it was a pretty tedious process. I share many different strap options on this channel, but this was the first micro adjustment bracelet that I've had the pleasure of using. And it's worth noting how important and appreciated this micro adjustment functionality for this bracelet is. It's remarkably handy and useful. As I've since worn this watch to several events and meetings and trade shows out in the wild, the bracelet has been a huge value add. Eventually, a blue Omega NATO strap found its way to me, which also offered a fun unboxing experience. I will say that I was curious to see what the blue striped option would look like on the white Speedmaster Professional, but admit that I haven't had a chance to properly wear it yet. After seeing this color combo with the white Speedmaster Professional, I think that this blue NATO looks really nice, but it's better suited on something like a blue Seamaster Diver or something similar. So first impressions, it's just awesome. This watch is fantastic, and it's been a pleasure to wear. This feels and looks like a major upgrade from the Hamilton Intramatic that I acquired about 2.5 years ago. Now, I realize that this Speedmaster Professional might not be for everybody, and I can appreciate that. I was initially skeptical about this piece until I put it on the wrist for the first time and experienced what it looked and felt like. That's the story of how I added the Omega Speedmaster Pro to my collection. I invite you to share your feedback and engage in the comments. Hearing about other collectors' decision-making processes is invaluable when selecting watches to add to your box. Many of you subscribe to this channel for fresh strap options and alternatives, and I hope that my story provides value to you too. That this channel aims to serve as a visual guide for your watch strap decisions and a source of inspiration for you as you expand your collection as well. Moving forward, I'm planning to do a multi-part series with this new Omega timepiece. So please stay tuned for those videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks.